Hi guys, welcome to your reading. Today's reading is all about messages from your angels. So we're going to see what angels are around you and what messages they have for you and what they want you to know right now. So today we have a beautiful selection of crystals for you guys to choose from. And of course, as soon as you make up your mind on which pile is for you, you can scroll right down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. If it's your first time watching a pick a card reading, basically you are going to choose which crystal seems to be calling your name, calling your attention in, drawing your energy in, and as soon as you pick that pile, you're going to scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description, and you can head into the message that is for you from your angels. So just trust your intuition and your judgment when making up your mind. Don't overthink it too much and trust that you will be guided to the right pile with the message for you. So I also want to mention to you guys that if you like how I do my readings, then you can head on over to my Patreon to see all my additional readings. I have about 50 additional readings over there, and I just posted one all about what you need to do to improve your love life. So how to get the love life you've always dreamed of and wanted, what you need to change in your life, or what you're doing what you should do differently to manifest and bring in the kind of love you want. We get some very specific advice from your guides, but once you sign up, like I said, you get access to all my readings about life, love, spirituality, career, relocation, so many different topics for you guys to choose from, and you guys suggest new topics and then we vote on those, and that's how we often decide what readings to do. So if you want to join us, head on over to my Patreon to sign up, and like I said, you get access to everything as soon as you sign up. So I hope to see you guys there. Let me show you guys the numbers on each of the piles, by the way. So this is pile 1, then we have pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. And I also want to mention to you guys that I do private readings as well. So if you guys would like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot, read your astrology, channel for you, channel mediumship for you. Lots of different options. You can get a year ahead reading, career reading, love reading. You get to really choose how it goes. You get to choose the length. If it's pre-recorded, if it's a live session. So there's lots of options to choose from. So if you'd like to get one of those, head on over to my website and sign up, briarrosetarot.com. Link is in my description for that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching me. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we are going to go ahead and jump into pile 1. Hey pile 1, so if you guys picked this Dalmatian Jasper, this is going to be your reading. So you guys got the Hungry Ghosts, Obsession, Scarcity Consciousness, Attachment. So the first thing I'm picking up on is this feeling of kind of like, when is this going to happen, or when are things going to change in my life? Maybe lately you guys have been feeling really impatient or just feeling kind of stuck or unhappy with where you're at right now. And I feel like your guides are asking for a lot of patience. They're saying that they're building something for you that's better than you could have ever imagined, and something that I feel like is going to be so worth the wait. So I feel like it's almost like you guys are in the waiting room right now, you know, and it's about to change. There are things going to be moving forward for you, and almost like don't let yourself get into a despair about it. You know, like if you were going to the doctor's office and they said, hey, by the way, like the doctor is a little slow today, so it's going to be an extra 15-minute wait, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm leaving. It's never going to happen. Oh, this is the end of the world. You'd be like, okay, I'll just go sit down and read some magazines then. And I kind of feel like that's what your guides are asking for you right now, is just a little bit of patience, because maybe lately you guys have been feeling really down in the dumps or frustrated, and I feel like they really want you to kind of trust the process is what's coming through first off. So that's the first channeled message I'm getting. Let's pull into some more cards. So we got 5th chakra Archangel Gabriel, and I knew that was going to come out. Literally, I heard Gabriel in my mind before I pulled it, and it was so cool that it was the first card, because this deck has angels in it, but I wasn't sure who was going to get like angels when, and I was hoping people would get angels in their pull, but this coming off the bat shows me that this angel is so strong around you, and I can really feel, you know, this energy around you guys. And of course, of course, Gabriel rules the throat chakra, so communication, speaking your truth. And I do feel like there's an energy for you right now of speaking up, showing up in the world, showing yourself honestly, showing who you really are. You might also be being put through a process right now where you're kind of being tested, or where maybe you have run into some difficult situations or people that you might find frustrating at times. And there's a message here that you're learning to use your voice and to speak up and to set boundaries, because I feel like some of you guys in the past have had trouble with that, or you tend to kind of sacrifice your own needs, or just be like, oh, it's fine, whatever, I'll just put up with this. And I feel like you're really being taught to like advocate for yourself. And even though that can be difficult and trying at first, when you're first getting into that energy of like, oh, why does this keep happening? I just want it to be easy. Why am I having these difficulties? You're being trained to learn to stand in your truth and to use your voice and to speak out. And I feel like that's something you guys are really being pulled to do right now, is to speak out honestly and truthfully and share your opinions, your messages with the world, and not to like hold yourself back because you're afraid of upsetting someone, or because I feel like some of you guys have been people pleasers in the past at times. Like you haven't advocated for yourself. I'm hearing some of you guys have been like over tippers, or you've been the kind of person that like if the waiter spilled a giant thing of, I don't know, red wine on your head, you just be like, it's fine. No, it's fine. Which of course it's always great to extend kindness and compassion. But I feel like sometimes you guys have like overextended yourself and not advocated for yourself and kind of been like, no, that's fine, even if you're really upset about it. And I feel like there's something you're being put through where you're being taught to like, be like, actually, that's kind of unacceptable, or okay, like I understand people make mistakes, but can I have like a credit or something? Because this is kind of crazy. Like now my whole outfit's covered in red wine, my hair is ruined, and something's got to be done about it. Like I feel like there's an energy where you guys are being tried and kind of pushed to use your voice and speak out, because it's almost like people can sense this energy about you, and sometimes they haven't taken you seriously, or they haven't actually listen to you. Some of you guys might also look young for your age, and that might add to that, where sometimes they might be like, oh, this person's like young, or they're so nice, they're really sweet. And it's almost like sometimes you have sought out people liking you to your own detriment. So I feel like these are things that are happening right now for you, with Gabriel being very close around you, is like you are being taught to speak out for yourself and to listen to yourself and your own inner instincts and be your best advocate. Because sometimes it's almost like something's wrong, something is messed up, and yet you just keep it to yourself. You don't really want to speak up about it because you don't want to step on anyone's toes. So maybe you know that someone's being shady, or what they said was unacceptable or whatever, but you're just like, I'll just, you know what, it's not a big deal, it's fine. And you just kind of sacrifice yourself, and it's like, it's wrong, and your energy never lies. So like if you sense that someone's being weird or shady to you, but you try to like tamp it down and tell yourself like, it's okay, it's not a big deal, that energy will just persist. So the more you can address it early and like address it head on and be like, hey, by the way, this was happening, it was kind of unacceptable, can something be done about this, in a polite way, then the more time they have also to address and change it, and for it to be a better outcome for you, or for you to realize like, this person's not going to listen to me, I'm just going to leave this situation. But I feel like you're really being taught to advocate and stand up for yourself and be more honest and not shy away from the world as much. I really feel like that's a heavy energy around you right now. Oh my God. And we got the world. I did see these cards, but I didn't know this was coming next. As I was saying, show yourself to the world. So yeah, I feel like there's a heavy emphasis about you kind of being more open and honest and vulnerable, and maybe even forming more relationships, maybe even like being more open to people, or being more interested in, friendships and relationships in some way, like not as closed off, not as insular. And I feel like in a way, some of you guys, you've worried a lot about people not liking you, or you might have something like rejection sensitivity, or you might be someone that just takes it really hard when you sense someone doesn't like you, and you go out of your way to like make sure everyone likes you, make sure everyone thinks you're cool. And you know, that can really hinder someone, because then when you're doing that, you're not going to be able to speak authentically. And when you're so worried of upsetting other people, you're not thinking, do I like them? Like, what do I think of them? And I feel like you need to know that if you share and spread your voice with the world, I feel like one, you will be protected, and two, I feel like you're going to find a lot more people support you than you ever thought. People who like you, people who enjoy whatever this is, or enjoy your vibe, your energy, just think you're cool. Maybe you have an expectation that like people just get mad at me easily, or no one really likes me that much, and so you kind of just shut up and just don't really speak a lot and just don't really speak out. But I feel like you're going to be surprised at how much people really enjoy you, and how, if this is about sharing your talents, which I feel like it could be for some of you guys, you might be surprised by how much people respond to and love whatever this is you're putting out there. So if you're like, oh, I was thinking of starting a TikTok, or I'm starting an Instagram or a YouTube or whatever, you might be surprised that people gravitate towards it really well. I feel like a lot of you guys are really deep thinkers, but it's almost like the thinking is happening, but then the communication doesn't happen. And I feel like your guides are kind of like, this is like a waste. We gave you so many amazing thoughts, such amazing wisdom, and we always thought you would share it with the world. And instead of you doing that, you're kind of keeping it for yourself. And you might think that that's the good thing to do, like, oh, I don't want to steal attention. But if Spirit has given you a lot of wisdom downloads, then Spirit wants you to give it to the world. And that's when you will find your blessings and find your recognition that you might be craving. So yeah, I feel like there's more of an emphasis on you being more unfiltered and not so careful or worried about what other people are going to think of you in all aspects of your life, and just straight up honest, straight up truth. And people can really sense the energy and the resonance of truth anyway. So I feel like they're going to like that more when you're being yourself. So we got indecision, door to personal healing and happiness, and man holding a heart. I also feel like there's a message for some of you guys here about, you know, maybe some of you guys don't even think you really deserve a lot in relationships, or in relationships you've settled for people who like haven't really treated you as well, or maybe you just think, I don't really deserve a relationship, or I'm not a relationship person. And there's almost an emphasis on too much independence, or being too like, I'm sticking in my own energy. And I feel like you might be surprised if you kind of open up to the world a little bit more and show yourself more, that you're really amazed by how many people are so drawn to you. Like, I feel like there's a really strong message here, pile one, that you guys are so charming, so amazing to be around. People really like you. People really enjoy you. And almost like, why are you keeping yourself away? I'm seeing a little clamshell that's like sealed closed, and it's finally opening. And I feel like that's what your guides want you to do, is just be more blunt, honest, upfront about who you are, and not worrying so much about how is this person going to take it, or even being polite, or even like over stressing. This might even be like social anxiety energy about what someone's going to say, think, react. It's like, what if you just said how you feel, of course within reason. Like, you don't have to come up to someone on the street and be like, I think those are really ugly pants, but I would assume you guys wouldn't do that. But maybe if someone's like, oh, so, you know, I don't know, is this dysfunctional thing okay? And you're just like, I don't know, not really to me, you know, like you learn to speak up and say no. Or maybe if someone's like, oh, I don't know, like, what kind of music do you like? And usually you would try to find commonality. This might be a mutable sign thing where you guys are like, if you're a Libra, Pisces, Gemini, or Virgo, where you kind of melt your energy into theirs, why did I say Libra? Libra is not a mutable sign, but Libra does this too. Sagittarius, sorry. But where you kind of like absorb their energy a little bit and then you reflect it back. So if they're like, oh, I'm really into like heavy metal, you wouldn't be like, oh, I love pop. You'd be like, oh, I like this really intense band. And even if that's true, you're kind of filtering yourself. Like you're not being like, oh, well, I love Justin Bieber, because you think they'd be like, oh, that's weird. And so instead, maybe it's just about being so authentic and honest that it doesn't matter who asks you, you're gonna be like, I love Justin Bieber, I'm a huge fan, you know? And being okay with that, and being okay if they're like, oh, that's weird. Because chances are they'd probably be like, okay, cool, you know? And maybe that's not the right person for you because they're obsessed with heavy metal and they think Justin Bieber's super lame. In which case, wouldn't you rather know that at the beginning? Or like in the opposite direction, you like heavy metal and you're like, everyone's saying they love Justin Bieber, so you're like, oh, I like pop, I love him too, even though you don't. So just being honest about yourself, I feel like is going to attract you the kind of relationship you want. I feel like a lot of you guys have been feeling kind of alone lately, alone in the world, or like, I don't really have anyone. I don't really have my team and my tribe. And I feel like your angels really want you to know that they are around you very strongly, especially Archangel Gabriel. And Gabriel really does have to do with communication, the heart chakra, spreading your truth and your wisdom and speaking up. That's something our guides want us to do. Like that's why God assigned an archangel to that topic, right? Not everything gets an archangel. So that's how important it is for us to speak out and be willing to share our truth and our wisdom with the world. And everyone benefits. I'm sure we've all, benefited so much from watching a YouTube video. I know you guys have benefited from watching mine so much. Just kidding. But I mean, like, we've all watched like long form YouTube videos, right? And learned about like plumbing in ancient Rome or something. And it's just really interesting to us. And probably we weren't even aware we'd be interested in that topic. And maybe you stumble across that and it has a bunch of views and you're like, well, maybe this kind of must be interesting. So you look at it for like 2 minutes and you're like, oh, this is really cool. And next thing you know, you're so much more educated and you feel like you really benefited from it and you feel like you really gained. And there's probably someone debating making that video who was like, okay, no one's going to care about plumbing in ancient Rome. Why would I make this? I'm this weirdo who's obsessed with ancient Roman plumbing and none of my friends care when I start talking about all the aqueducts and whatever. So why am I such a weirdo? And then they decide to actually film it and it becomes really popular. And so like, I feel like there's something about you guys speaking out. There's some kind of, thing you guys are kind of holding back that I feel like your guides, your angels, they really want you to kind of unleash, and doing this as a habit, not editing or filtering yourself, but just being way more honest, I feel like is something your guides are really, really rooting for you. So we got stranger, curiosity, wailing tree, reconciliations, repairing the veil, forgiveness, and the wall, obstacles. That's really interesting. I feel like some of you guys, I also feel like some of you guys are mourning some difficult relationships you might have had. Maybe you guys have had to let go of certain people in your life, or maybe you even thought you'd be at a different place in your life. Like maybe you are just feeling like, oh, I thought I would have had a relationship by now, or I thought I'd be married by now, or I thought I'd have kids, or I thought blah, 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 whatever timeline. And I feel like there's a message for you about some of you guys really needed to prune out these relationships. And if you're feeling very lonely or alone because of it, it's for your benefit. And you guys are going to be able to achieve and, fill out your life purpose so much more because these people aren't in your life anymore. And I feel like sometimes those things can be really painful, but there is a message here about you stepping forward into like a brand new reality, into a brand new era, into a brand new stage in your life that I feel like is going to be super exciting. And I feel like you guys are going to come into this era and just be able to be much more authentic with yourself and just be able to be much more upfront about everything, really, about who you are, about your interests, about the kind of relationships you want, because so long you've been settling for second best. You've been settling for people that don't really treat you right, people that don't really give you the respect you deserve and kind of act weird around you. And I feel like now it's almost like this is me time. I'm going to be a little bit more selfish, and I'm going to really look after my best interests instead of worrying about what this person says or that person says. And that's going to align you actually with the kind of relationships and people that you really want to be around. And again, with this stranger curiosity, I think you might be surprised by how many people actually really want to like either listen to you with what you have to say. If this is like you're thinking of putting some kind of, I don't know, content out there in some way, or if you are thinking about relationships or being more authentic in relationships, there's so many more people that I feel like want to get to know you, want to be around you, want to listen to your content, enjoy what you're doing, enjoy your perspective. No one has your unique perspective, pile one. No one sees the world exactly the way you do. I was just reading about the 7 forms of intelligence, and there's all different 7 forms of intelligence. And you know, there's like spatial awareness, logic, math, which I feel like logic and math and language intelligence are things that a lot of people already recognize as like intelligence when we think of the word intelligence. But there's also bodily intelligence and like creative intelligence. And the one that stuck out to me that I feel like, and you kind of inherit this through your DNA, which is really cool. But the one that stuck out to me that I feel like I kind of would probably be, because everyone has what they specialize in or what their strength is, and mine is like existential, I feel, which is kind of like the meaning of life or philosophy. And it's funny because I always would think in those terms, and like my dad is that way as well. He was also a philosophy major, I was a philosophy major. One of the jokes they always say to philosophy majors is like, well, what are you going to do with that career? No one cares about philosophy, which is very true, I guess. But it's funny because I was thinking, it's weird, I feel like I do a lot of that on this channel, you know. So the ability to philosophize, or I feel like it's channeling in a way, you know, can serve you in ways you wouldn't expect. And sometimes as many people as there are who might not be interested in that topic or who might think it's lame, because I definitely talk to people who would make fun of me for being a philosophy major, there's people who love that and are like, this is so cool. It's amazing to me how popular like Jordan Peterson is, for example, as a philosophy teacher. Because I'm just like, what? Because like I said, I was in philosophy classes in college, and like, you know, he's a good teacher, I guess, but it's like a lot of that stuff gets covered in those classes. So it's so funny though, you know, look at the platform he's found. And my point in all that is to say, like, just because someone else doesn't see the vision, or the person around you doesn't get it, or doesn't see what you're bringing to the table, doesn't really get your value, doesn't mean someone else isn't going to. Just because people around you in the past might have been like, oh, that's lame, or, you know, I don't remember all the other forms of intelligence. Those were the ones that really stuck out to me, but might be like, oh my God, you're such a nerd doing math again. Oh my God, who cares about math? But you love it. Maybe there's other math people online who, I don't know, I'm not on like math YouTube, definitely not, that's the last place I want to be, but I'm sure there's probably like math people online who want to hear your perspective on like an algorithm you put together, or a formula you came up with, or something new you're doing that relates to math somehow. You know what I mean? So never let someone else's idea of what your strength may be or who you are color your actual perspective of yourself, and don't let that seep into your bones as like a limiting thought. I feel like that's a really strong message you need to get, because you might be surprised how many people love what you're doing, even if in the past you felt rejected because of this, because you were honest, or because you shared something and you felt a rejection. That doesn't mean that there's not millions of people who are looking for exactly the content or the perspective or the person that you are. So however this is, whether you're intending to direct it towards interpersonal relationships or whether a grander, like larger scale thing, I feel like there's a need for you to really be upfront and honest, and possibly even like do things to unblock your throat chakra. Let's get some tarot cards for pile 1. What messages do you have? Wow, 10 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. So I was saying, like, I feel like there is going to be a breakthrough and you're kind of in the waiting room. And that might be proof to you that there's a lot of financial success possibly associated with this. And the Ten of Pentacles is also just a nice life overall. It also has to do with legacy. So you guys might, there might be a potential for legacy through sharing your gifts in whatever way. Maybe it's being in a relationship, having a bunch of kids, because Ten of Pentacles also relates to like family. Or it could be with, sharing your gift online or at work, being honest and speaking up and saying like, I want to do this, and being as truthful as you can with yourself. It might lead to financial success and abundance. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it might be a message with you to like stick through it. Whenever we're adapting a new behavior, there's always a little bit of a period of like, oh, this is really hard, this sucks, because we're learning something new. Just like if maybe you worked out your arms every day in the gym, but the first day you go work out legs, it's going to burn a little bit. You're going to feel that because you haven't done it before, right? You might have really strong arms and worked those out a million times. But as soon as you start doing those squats, you're going to feel it because it's a new muscle. And sometimes whenever we're doing a new habit or learning something new or trying something new, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. So if this is something new where you're like, suddenly I'm saying no more and it feels weird and I don't like it. I don't like having to tell people no. I don't like having to be like harsh. I don't like having to say like, actually, this isn't my order. Can you take it back? And yeah, but I feel like that's something you guys are learning to do, is to speak up for yourself and to, get through this. And the Nine of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. And I really feel like you guys are kind of in that energy, like it's like testing. You're being tested and you're going to get through it and benefit so much. You're going to come out so much more emotionally healthy too. The King of Cups has mastered the art of emotions and mastered managing his emotions. He knows how to handle different emotional situations, relationships. That is the cup energy. It's like relationships, love, emotions. So when you're the king, you've mastered it. And I feel like you guys are learning mastery right now. You're learning to really be good at speaking up for yourself. And also with the King of Cups, one part of emotions is also understanding your emotions and just feeling them when they happen. Because so many times people pleasers, it's almost like they just breeze through the emotions. Like someone could be like, well, how do you feel? And they'll be like, fine, I'm great, I'm good. And they might really believe that because they're so not in touch with themselves. And then maybe hours later it sets in on them like, it was really unfair that, I know they said they ran out of cake but they gave it to literally everyone else, and like no one told me there was cake, and I was just out in the backyard, and I don't know why like Dave got like 3 slices of cake, but no one saved one for me. It's kind of messed up. I know that's a silly thing, but hey, if you're a water sign, you do get emotional about stuff like that, and we're talking about water. But that's the thing, is like it's okay to feel that emotion, and once you feel it, you can release it. You can take what you need from it. Maybe it's an indication from you. Maybe people at the party aren't really looking out for your best interest. Maybe it was a careless oversight, and maybe it was something they just don't care about you at all, and you're on the bottom of the totem pole, and that makes you uncomfortable. And that might be something that's worth investigating and not just stamping it down and being like, oh my God, it's a piece of cake. Let me just get over this. It's literally a piece of cake. Let me just move on from this. There might be something to that. So being in touch with your emotions is something I think you guys are learning. And whenever we first start to feel emotions, it's often very painful because there's so much buried. So yeah, I feel like that's what you guys are going through. Let's get one final card. So we got the Ten of Swords reversed and the Eight of Wands reversed. So yeah, I feel like this is kind of a final era you're going through that's going to end soon. And, maybe not immediately with the Eight of Wands reversed, but it is going to end. And I feel like you're doing a lot of growth in this period. You're growing so much. And honestly, I feel like it is super positive for you. And you're gonna, have exactly what you want and come out of this period, I think, like so much better adjusted, so much more able to handle it. Because just like that metaphor I was giving earlier about the first time you do a squat, if you've never done one, it's gonna burn. And that goes for any muscle. But after you've done squats for like weeks, months, it's going to feel like nothing. It's going to feel easy. And so you're building that muscle now, learning to say no, learning to stand up for yourself, learning that you deserve to really look after yourself a little bit. And I feel like after you come out of this period, it's like going to be a piece of cake for you to advocate and stand up for yourself, and also for you to, share your honest truth with the world. So, anyways, I think that's what I have for you guys. Pile one, let me know how it resonates. I always love hearing from you guys, love hearing your thoughts, feelings, opinions in the comments. So, I always love hearing what you think about it. Let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, give this reading a like if it did resonate with you, and make sure to subscribe, turn those notifications on, hit the bell so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys want to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. As soon as you sign up, you get access to about 50 additional readings about life, love, spirituality, career, relocation, so many different topics. I just posted one all about what you need to change or do differently in your love life to manifest the love you want. So we get some really great actionable advice for you on what might need to change or be a little bit different in your love life to get the kind of relationship you're after. So if that's interesting to you, then head on over to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description for my Patreon and join our little group over there. I would love to have you. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. Have me pull tarot, channel for you, channel mediumship, do your astrology. You can have it be a half-hour session, a full hour. You can do your head reading, career reading, love reading. There's so many different options to choose from. You get to really choose what we talk about. So if you'd like to get that, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Link is in my description for that. I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I'll be back very soon for another reading. Take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, pile two. So if you guys picked this Aquarius crystal, this is going to be your reading. So you guys got the Phoenix, Resurrection, Surrender to Change. The message I'm getting for you guys is that you are going through a major transition point right now in your life. I feel like old parts of your life are falling off and you're starting to enter into a new reality and kind of starting to see how that might look. Some of these changes might have to do with Pluto as it enters Aquarius, especially if you're a fixed sign. It might really be lighting up your chart very strongly. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and of course Aquarius placements are going to feel this very, very strongly, especially if your ascendant is in one of those signs, or your sun, moon, rising. But a lot of you guys, I feel in this pile, are going through a major, major transition, and everyone is going to feel the effects of Pluto. But this is, I feel for you guys, almost like a turning point, or you have been getting downloads on things you need to change and alter in your life lately. I honestly also feel you guys have been very psychic lately and very like tuned in. Like I feel like your little psychic antenna has been up and getting a lot of downloads and a lot of realizations. And sometimes when we're in that vibe, we might be very tired because psychic work is a form of work, and we might feel exhausted. We might feel the need to rest, to sleep. We might be having vivid dreams or even having trouble sleeping at times. Because of this kind of agitated energy around us. But I feel like a lot of you guys need to know that you're letting go of things that no longer serve you, and that the changes this is going to usher into your life are for a positive. So maybe you're starting to see certain things fall off that you thought were going to be permanent, and you're starting to get the lay of the land of something that looks very new, something you really didn't think was going to happen in your life. And you're like, wait, how is this happening? Or like, what is this? Or how is this going on? Or whenever we're in this energy of extreme change, it can feel very jarring. It can feel very intense, and it can be kind of frightening at times. But I do feel like your angels are around you very strongly, and they come around us whenever we're going through one of these major transition points. And I feel like they just want you to get that message and to know that this is working out for your greatest and highest good. It's not a bad thing. It is a good thing. And if you guys have been feeling super intuitive lately, or feeling the need for quiet and just to be like alone and rest and get downloads, and even if you've been meditating or you've been in that kind of state lately, then I feel like you are picking up on the energy correctly. That is really what's going on. And the messages you're receiving right now are very accurate. So pay attention to what's happening in your dreams. Pay attention to the downloads and messages you are receiving. So the angel card you guys got is fifth chakra archangel Gabriel. So Gabriel is the angel of communication. So this is an angel that talks about the need for us to communicate, and also he sends messages to us from God. He's actually the angel that appeared to Mary to tell her about the birth of Jesus. So Gabriel is the angel that God sends down to us to communicate, and he's also the angel that helps us communicate. So for you guys, trust that a lot of the downloads you've been getting are really accurate, because this communication goes both ways. And I do feel like you guys have been getting a lot of intuitive senses lately. And if you've been like, what is this? Why am I getting these feelings, these vibes? Am I going crazy? What is going on? Just know that you're definitely not. This is real and it is accurate. And you guys might be going through a spiritual awakening, to be honest. You might be going through a period where your senses are much more heightened now. You might be feeling literally sensitive and kind of like the need to retreat, go into your home. You know, Cancer is a highly psychic sign. It's the crab, and that's why the crab has its little shell, right? Because it can sometimes retreat into that little home area. So if you have been feeling the need to kind of like nest a little, or spend a lot of time at home, or spend a lot of time watching TV, or like reading, or doing kind of quiet, cozier, relaxed hobbies, then I feel like this is because you are doing a lot of work on the astral plane and you're just a little bit exhausted. Maybe you're laying in bed on this plane, but on the astral plane, you're like running marathons and lifting weights, basically. Like you're just doing a lot of work. So don't doubt or question the things you are being told right now, because I feel like right now your dreams might be being very prophetic. You might be getting strong indications about like, you know, I should really try this, or I know I like my career, but I've always wanted to open a flower shop, but that's crazy. But no, I feel like you guys really need to pay attention to the dreams and downloads you're getting right now at this time. So if a vision comes to you, if a random crazy thought comes to you, trust that process. That is the most important thing. You know, Spirit is showing me this example of something where just when I was on vacation in this beautiful city, I just stumbled into this restaurant, right? And it was just nearby my hotel, and I felt the urge to go in, and it was like this amazing food. It was so authentic. It was so good. It was really real food, like, real olive oil and real ingredients, not processed like mayonnaise from a jar. Everything was so real, so fresh, so delicious, and just a really incredible experience, right? And I was watching someone on Instagram the other day, and they kept posting about this restaurant, saying it's the best restaurant in the whole city, and like going on and on and on. And I was like, wait, is that the rest? Oh yeah, that's the rest. And I looked it up because, like, again, it was right next to my hotel, or not right next to it, but it was like around the corner and kind of like, like a couple streets over, but it was relatively close. So I like double checked. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the name of the place. And it was. And my point is that it's funny because this person was saying, this is the best restaurant. It is absolutely incomparable. They were really going on and on. And I was like, what's funny is I literally walked in off the street, and I literally was like walking down the street and was like, intending to get lunch, and was fine with it, taking a little bit longer. But I was like, I'm just going to walk around and see, where I feel called to go in, and maybe I'll eat here, maybe I'll eat there, maybe I'll find something online. But I just felt called to go to this place. And even a part of me was like, but it's right near my hotel. Like maybe I should just keep walking and try to find something else. But I just trusted it and went in, right? And so when this person online kept talking about, this is the greatest food you'll ever eat in your life, and I was like, the funny thing is, I didn't even need a guide. I didn't need someone to tell me to go to this place. I didn't need to find it on Yelp or look it up or anything like that. I just trusted my judgment. And our guides, our angels, our ancestors, our team on the other side, they are always directing us to the best cause. And a part of me was like, why would I walk into this restaurant? Like, shouldn't I keep walking? But I've learned that process when you're traveling, to just go with the flow, to just trust and listen to where you're called to, that those are the most potent signals that will direct you to the absolute best place. And honestly, it's never steered me wrong. I found so many places while traveling like that, where like, just like, I don't know, I just feel the urge to go down this street. And then you stumble across the exact kind of place you were looking for. And then you find out later, like, oh, that's a really nice restaurant, or everyone loves that place, or it has really good reviews, but you were trusting your judgment. And that is literally the best compass to use. So my point in bringing up that story for you guys is, if you're feeling called to try something that might feel a little unusual for you or different, there is a part of our logical brain that turns on and is like, what are you doing? Why would you listen to this? What kind of facts do you have? Do you have a list? Did you do research? But sometimes our intuition is the most potent thing of all. And so listening to that, just like that restaurant was apparently the absolute best restaurant in the world, and they were just, and honestly it was amazingly good. But I was like, that's what happens when you listen to your intuition. Is like, you don't need all that extra stuff, you know? I mean, it's fine to use it, of course. We all sometimes want to use Yelp and find the cool places, but my point is that our intuition will take us there in half the time. And I feel like that's what you're being called to do right now, is really listen to yourself, to your own inner voice and inner guidance, and where you're being steered right now. And know that honestly, right now, you guys are very psychic, and the visions you're getting are very accurate. So really, you guys should pay attention. So we got the thinking woman. I wouldn't be surprised if, with Archangel Gabriel as well, he is an angel that does deal with communication. So for you guys, you might also be called to communicate. Possibly you've been thinking on things, or maybe you've been doing things that are very intellectual in nature, like, wanting to write, or wanting to make a YouTube channel that's breaking down things, or like documentary style. Or maybe you have been wanting to learn or investigate or read about like true crime, or listen to podcasts, or read about tarot and gain a lot of knowledge. And I feel like this is a very potent time for you guys to be doing any learning or writing or any of these intellectual exercises. Part of the process of like creating is also learning the ropes. It's learning how we do things. It's not just, like before you read tarot, you can read tarot intuitively, and honestly, that can sometimes be the most powerful way to read it for some people. But there's also a lot to be said for learning the ropes and learning the history behind each card. So there's always going to be a learning curve whenever you start something new, right? And I feel like you guys are being called to like really lean into this. If you're feeling like, well, all I did today was lay in bed and read about this random subject that like it doesn't have anything to do with my career, well, maybe there's something in that for you. Maybe you're supposed to read about that. Maybe that knowledge is meant for you in some way, and you never know, because you might use it later. Like I've been mentioning before, because I have this like glitch in my email that keeps happening lately, where like it shows me all these old emails. I don't know why it keeps happening, other than a thing from spirit. But I've seen so many old emails from myself talking about numerology and talking about astrology. And at the time, I was very embarrassed, to be honest with you, about being so into esoteric subjects. I thought it was kind of like cringe, or like just really not smart, kind of dumb. And I feel like there always has been sometimes judgment directed towards metaphysical subjects, tarot, astrology, numerology, all those things. And it's so funny to look back now and remember how I would like lie to people about why my email name was like weirdly different, because I went through and did a major numerology alteration to get like the number I wanted. So anyway, I would lie to they would be like, why is your name spelled so different? Like, is that what name is that? Because you can do a lot of stuff in numerology to change your name number, but like it doesn't look super normal. It looks a little off, and it definitely did look off. And I would just like make up stories about like, oh, it's for online security and stuff like that. And it's so funny because now it's like, obviously I'm a tarot reader, fully leaned into this. But my point is I could never have really guessed back then that like this weird interest I felt like I had in astrology and numerology and all esoteric subjects would one day lead to this. And you never really know what path spirit has for you. It's just up for us to take one step at a time and then let things unfold and listen to each indication at the moment. Just like on Google Maps, how your map isn't going to like be shouting out directions for like 2 hours in advance. It's going to tell you the street to turn as you need to know. So it's going to tell you the street you need to turn on in 50 meters or the street you need to turn on in a mile, but it's not going to tell you what to turn on 200 miles down the road. So all we can do is trust that current direction we're getting one at a time. And I feel like you guys are being called right now to really listen to this, whatever it is, whatever kind of message you're getting, no matter how outlandish it may seem to you, or how you're like, huh, how does that fit into my job? Like, what? That doesn't make sense, or I wasn't wanting that. Or when I look back also even on old psychic readings I've gotten, like some of the time, at the time, it didn't make so much sense to me, and those were readings where sometimes I'd be like, well, whatever, I guess, you know, that was probably wrong, but it's fine. But then it's so weird how a lot of those things will happen in the future and will start to unfold in a way you really never thought would happen. So my point for you is for you to really just lean into these messages you're getting, and don't second guess them. Don't let your logical mind turn on and start being like, wait, how does this make sense? This doesn't make sense. No, I don't think so. It can't be that. Well, no, but I do this as a career, so why would I do research into that? If you're feeling called to broaden your interest in something, broaden your knowledge about something, I don't know, write as a hobby or do some intellectual work as like a hobby or something, I feel like that's something that you never know. It might prove very fruitful for you in the future. And it is something I feel like your guides want you to use. There might be something that you're communicating about later where you're supposed to use your voice in whatever this topic is, and benefit the collective in that way. But don't be second guessing yourself, because right now, pile 2, you guys are so psychic. You're genuinely picking up on things. This is not BS. It's not just like you're being crazy and imagining things. You need to really trust yourself and trust the messages and downloads you're getting during this process. We also got envy. And there is a message I'm getting for you guys about envy, that anything you envy, it can sometimes, it's a low vibrational energy for sure, and it's not something we should necessarily embrace, but it can sometimes be a signal to us that like, that's what we want. Like if we get irrationally angry about, you know, like I think I mentioned this before, I think the hate people have towards selfies is so fascinating to me. It will never not be like something that just, I'm like, what is going on? And I feel, I have to be honest, I feel like a lot of the people who get angry about selfies are mad because they don't look that good. Like I really feel that way. I feel like some of the people who get mad about selfies, maybe they have some insecurity. Maybe they feel like their face doesn't look super good. So they are enraged that someone's like, oh my God, I look amazing and is super confident. And the thing about it is, that's something that maybe they could work to undo. If there's something they're insecure about with their appearance, maybe they could do something to change their appearance to so that they feel more confident, or they could just work on developing confidence, or they could change outward appearance things. Like maybe they're like, oh, look at that girl, she's so superficial, she always has to wear these elaborate outfits. Oh, she's so self-centered and vain. But maybe it's because they really wish they could look so beautiful and have Venus energy around them. And maybe what they could do is go out and go on a like wardrobe shopping trip and buy some new clothes, and then they would feel confident, and this person wouldn't irritate them because they'd be like, oh, I look great too, so I'll post myself looking amazing in this dress, and good for that person for looking great in their dress. So anyway, my point to you is sometimes we can take, if we're feeling irrationally annoyed at anyone, we can just investigate that and be like, you know what? Maybe I'm envious because that I want that for myself. Maybe I want to have a career in XYZ and it just doesn't seem possible to me. But maybe it is. Maybe I'm way more capable of that than I ever realized. And maybe that for me is 100% a part of my path. And that's why I feel so emotionally invested in it. That's why it bothers me and gets under my skin, is because I'm like, I know I could do that, or I know that's in the realm of possibility for me. So sometimes that can be a little signal to us of actually that there's something to unpack there for that being part of our destiny. So if you are feeling a little bit of envy lately, no judgment, but just maybe unpack that and think about maybe there's something for that for you. So we got envy, door to spirit, and adjacent possibilities. And I do really feel like right now your life is unfolding and you have a lot more possibilities in front of you than you might realize. You might have thought you were on a certain path, but there's a new opening happening for you. And maybe something you thought was always going to look a certain way is kind of ending and falling off, and something you never thought could be happening for you actually perfectly can happen and is starting to manifest for you. But I feel like your guides, your angels want you to be very open to this. They want you to not be closed off. And another thing that's coming through is the judgment of others. Sometimes we can take on negative traits like envy or judgment because we had family members that would tell us that, like would tell us like, oh, look at that girl with lipstick on and all that makeup. She's probably so vain and she's so full of herself. She thinks she's better than all of us. And that's actually a scarcity mindset they have, thinking that the woman thinks she's better than them, which she never said, you know what I mean? And thinking like probably a lack of self-worth for themselves. So sometimes we can realize that like we've taken on negative mindsets from our parents, from our ancestors. Maybe they have a scarcity mindset around money, so they're always being judgmental and rude towards people with money. And we have to unpack that and be like, you know what? I feel so emotionally charged around money because I don't think I can get any. And actually, maybe it's a possibility for me to have more money than I ever imagined. So there's just a energy here around you really unpacking in that your future might look so different than you realized, but in a way you're going to be so happy with, you're going to be so fulfilled with, and you guys are going to feel like, wow, I'm so glad I learned this lesson, and I'm so glad I broadened my horizons and allowed myself to experience things that maybe didn't really seem like they were for me at first, but I now realize are so for me. And again, you guys are just very, very psychic at this time. So we also got deep quiet, meditation, and stillness, beloved, radical acceptance, a tidy house, clarity and organization, and Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. So again, with this heavy emphasis towards meditation and towards your psychic abilities at this time, you guys are very tuned in. The messages you're receiving are very accurate. If you're not meditating at this time, you probably should be. I'm sure a lot of you already are in this pile, but if you're not, I feel like that's something you really need to do. And you might find that you're amazed at how easy it is for you at this time. Some people have to really struggle through beginning to meditate, and it takes them a really long time to learn to quiet the mind. But I honestly feel like for a lot of you guys at this time, it's going to come easily to you. You're going to get the downloads right away, and it's not going to be something you're going to have to struggle with or feel like you're not getting anything or like what's happening, because I feel like right now your guides, angels, and ancestors are being very loud, wanting to guide you, wanting to speak to you, wanting to get through to you. So you might be really shocked at just how easy it comes down. But I do feel like that's something you guys should be working into your daily practice right now if you're not already. It is going to be something that I feel like is going to benefit you, and you're going to get powerful indications of what you should do in your future, very specific to you. But there is this message again of you being in a homebody energy, kind of Cancer energy right now, or you're feeling the need to putter around your kitchen or sleep in a little late or do something kind of cozy like knitting, or I don't know, lighting a fire and just reading a book and cozying up with a mug of tea or something. But I feel like you should really pay attention to this, and that if you're feeling called to be inside, you know, I feel like sometimes there's a lot of messages around like you gotta hustle, you gotta do stuff to achieve, which is very true, but there's more than one way to achieve. This is why I love bringing up the fact that Pisces and Libra have the highest billionaires. Usually it's Pisces year after year, but Libra was this last year, and those are two of the most chill signs. So again, don't let anyone tell you that the only way for you to succeed is by like hustling and working really hard and you gotta fight and you gotta work, because if Pisces can be the wealthiest sign, and it's like probably, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we might be the laziest. I'm, you know, not gonna lie, not gonna deny it. We're not lazy, but kinda. But we like our bed, and I feel like, you know, so don't be afraid to sit, chill, rest, relax, because again, you're doing a lot of spiritual work right now. And actually the Pisces energy is also highly psychic. So, you know, that's what I have heard some astrologers speculate as to why Pisces is able to make the top of that list every year. And it's because they think, because Pisces is so creative, it gets downloads from spirit that doesn't make any sense to anyone else, and then they're like, let me do this, and they're perfectionists about it because they pour their emotions into it, so it ends up being very fruitful. So my point is that a time of rest, relaxation, chilling, staying inside, puttering around, sometimes that's exactly how you get the downloads, how you get the inspiration that you need to turn it into something. Of course, you need to take action to actually fully manifest something, but I feel like that's something that you guys are just, you need to know right now is like, give yourself that permission to kind of chill a little bit, take it easy, that you don't need to be like in a frenzy of activity. Sometimes, it's like people think they're doing something by like, if you've ever seen like a parent, like I feel like these TikToks and Instagram shorts happen where like everyone has the same parent, where parents will be like telling you to get to the airport and they're just like running around screaming, instead of being like, okay, well, is everything packed, and like doing that the night before or a few hours before. It'll be like 10 minutes before and they're screaming and they're telling everyone to get in the car and they're shouting and they're running around. And it's like, to me, that I hate that energy. That is the worst energy to me as a Pisces. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I literally hate when people are in a frenzied rush, like energetically. It's just ugh. And my point is that sometimes people think they're doing something with that, but that's the time when they forget their keys, or they forget to turn the oven off, or they, like in Home Alone, that literal scene from Home Alone where, they're rushing around at the end, they're running late, and so they forget their son. And if they had been going at a slower pace, more relaxed, then they surely would not have forgotten to bring Kevin. So that's the thing, is don't mistake taking frenzied action that some people always want to be in, and think you need to be doing something, everything super fast, and you need to be rushing and hustling and moving all the time. But that works for some people. And if you're an Aries sun and you have a lot of Aries placements, that's probably exactly what you should be doing, and you can accomplish a lot with that. But there's more than one way to go about something. There's more than one way to make something happen. And I feel like you guys are being called to kind of relax, lean into these messages, listen, chill, and that, you are going to be directed in exactly the right path for you. And it's going to be so amazing. So let's get some tarot messages for pile 2. Spirit, please can you give me guidance and tarot messages for pile 2? And also with beloved radical acceptance, you guys might also be getting downloads from Spirit about kind of shadow work you're doing, or deep messages about, painful things from your past. With Pluto, that is waste disposal, and it definitely is trauma and cleansing that and getting through it. So I feel like right now maybe you've been having negative memories, negative things come up for you, and again, there's just a message to work through this. It's a very intense time for you. You're doing a lot of psychic heavy lifting, but it is going to pay off for you, and you're benefiting a lot from it in the long term. I feel like at the end of the day, you're going to be so glad you went through this period, and you're going to come out of it with heightened psychic abilities, and also with just a better idea of future actions, or some deep knowledge that you're going to be using in the future. Let's get some more tarot for pile number 2. Spirit, please give, oh my gosh, look at that, the High Priestess. And I love when we do the live shuffle so you guys can see that it's real, and that this is really your message, your identity right now. You're in High Priestess mode. And it's funny because the High Priestess card is Cancer, and I kept mentioning this Cancer energy, and Cancer rules the home. Cancer is a homebody energy. Like Cancers love to be in bed, love to be at rest in their bed. And the funny thing is, Cancer is so psychic as well, and is ruled by the moon. And so again, don't mistake this idea that our society has, that the only way to achieve things is earth energy or kind of fire energy. But actually there's so much to be gained from a water energy. And this is how we get downloads from Spirit, is kind of creating quiet in our lives, peace in our lives, relaxation, cutting out some things that might be causing us tension or small tiny worries, and focusing on the big picture, and allowing our mind to quiet so we can hear the message from Spirit, so we can hear Gabriel around us. Let's get some more guidance for pile number 2 from the tarot. Let's get some guidance from the tarot for pile 2. Okay. Oh, Ace of Wands. Okay. And with the Ace of Wands reverse, that's really interesting. Wow, so psychic right now. But with the Ace of Wands reverse, that's interesting because the Ace of Wands upright can really talk about divine inspiration from Spirit, but the kind that needs to be channeled into action. So it's kind of like someone who has an idea for a book and they just suddenly start scribbling down, and they need to write, and they need to do this right now, and I need to get it all out on the paper. And or like someone who has an idea for a business and they want to start right away, or someone who has a crush on someone and they can't hold themselves back. They've got to see her. I'm going to go over and talk to her and blah, blah, blah. But because wands is like energy and excitement and action. But with it being reversed, it might be telling you this isn't necessarily the time for action. And there is sometimes a gesticulating period. I think I said that right. You know, when like a woman is pregnant and she's carrying the baby inside, but it's not ready to come out. That doesn't mean the baby isn't being formed. It's actually a necessary part of the process. Even though on the outside, if you don't know what a pregnancy is, you might be like, oh, nothing's happening. She's the same. She just had a big lunch. She just gained weight, but she looks the exact same. There's no baby in her, you know, but there's actually that thing is being formed. The baby is being formed inside her. And so for you guys, don't mistake this period as like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm just lazing around. I'm just being lazy. No, maybe you're getting really intense downloads. And as long as you turn it into action later, and you'll know, this might, for some of you guys, this might already be the time for the Ace of Wands to be upright and you're already ready to take action. You're already ready to write down this idea or to, you know, create this painting or whatever you're thinking of. Well, for some of you guys, this is a period of you gaining insights, gaining knowledge, and then you will see how it benefits you later at a future date and time. And right now I feel like it's almost like a little butterfly in a cocoon or something, like or a bear who's hibernating. And something I heard the other day is that, you know, animals very intimately understand that we have a limited amount of energy. That's why like a bear goes into hibernation mode in the winter. They don't try to do extra stuff. They don't get down on themselves without like, I'm so unhealthy. I haven't even worked out in months. In fact, I haven't even left outside my cave. I've literally just been staying inside. I'm a loser. They'd be like, yeah, this is part of the process. And when the spring comes, I'm going to be out there ripping apart berries. And I don't know what else they eat. Do they eat? I mean, they have those big teeth. They got to eat like animals too, right? Anyway, they wouldn't be like questioning themselves about like, oh, I haven't even left my freaking room. I'm such a loser. They'd be like, I will be ready. Come spring, come Aries season, I will be ready to go. I will be out there hunting down berries and getting honeycomb and everything else. You know, so they have the trust in the process that just because this is a moment of pause, it doesn't mean it's always going to be that way forever. So allow yourself, you're processing your emotions very highly right now. And you got the Queen of Cups, another super psychic energy. You guys are so psychic right now. Some of you guys might just be gifted psychically anyway. Like I would be interested to see in this pile how many people read tarot, how many people are into astrology, or even how many people are thinking of starting like psychic businesses or a tarot channel or something like that. Because I really do feel like a lot of you guys could really have a gift for this. Or maybe you're thinking of buying your first tarot deck, or maybe you're thinking of getting into astrology for the first time. But there is an indication here that there's a path for you and that you guys are genuinely gifted in this arena. I think very strongly right now, and possibly for some of you permanently. Let's see what this is. The final card. So we got the King of Wands. So I do feel like at the moment that is right for you, you're going to know. So trust this process. Everything goes in stages. That's why, you know, the world has seasons. Not every season can be summer. I mentioned this a million times. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that much growth and amazingness. You have to go through seasons. And in places where it's just warm all year round and there's not really a rainy season and anything like that, it's just kind of dry and brown and there's not that much that happens. There's not a lot of growth. We need the rain, we need the cold to have incredible deep green and all that. I mentioned that so many times, but you know, I feel like for you guys, just trust and believe that when this moment comes, you will have the energy you need to achieve this, accomplish this. And so whatever you're being pulled to redirect right now, trust and know that this is for your benefit. And you guys are going to, I think, come out of this period so much stronger and with your path, I think, much more aligned truthfully for you. So anyways, guys, I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I always love hearing your thoughts and your opinions. So let me know what you think of this one, how it resonated for you. Also, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, give this reading a like if it did resonate with you, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on, hit the bell so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys like how I read tarot, then head on over to my Patreon to get access to more of my readings. When you sign up, you get access to about 50 additional readings, and I just posted one all about what you need to change in your love life to have a better love experience, to have the kind of love life you want, to bring in the relationship you want. So that one has a lot of really great information, and new posts go up all the time over there. So I really hope I will see you guys over on my Patreon page, you can head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description. And like I said, as soon as you sign up, you get access to all my readings about a million different topics. So you get access to everything. So I hope I will see you guys over there at my Patreon. And if you guys would like to get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel intuitively or channel mediumship. You can do a year ahead reading, focus on love or money or career during your reading. There's lots of different options, and you guys get to really control how it goes or what we talk about, or just do an energy check-in. I love those. But yeah, I'd love to do a reading for you. So if you want one of those, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile three. So if you guys picked this green quartz, this is going to be your reading. So for your card, you guys got the Map Maker of Destiny. And as I tune into your energy, I feel you guys are going to be going through so many exciting changes in the future. I'm literally getting excited tuning into your energy. Like, I almost feel like I could celebrate, because I feel like a lot of you guys are almost embarking on a new adventure or something super new, super fresh, that I feel like is going to be so exciting and so much fun. So some of you guys might be planning some travels, a new trip, or even like a move, but I feel like it's almost like we're throwing off some old identity, or we're throwing off some kind of stuck, stagnant energy, and we're stepping into something super new and fresh. And pile two had some changing energy around them as well, but you guys have it very strongly in a very exciting way. And it doesn't surprise me, both of you guys got this, because Pluto is moving into Aquarius, just moved into it. And so especially if you have Aquarius placements, you're definitely going to feel this. But also if you have other fixed energies, so Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and definitely Ascendant in all those placements, you're going to feel this energy really strongly. Some of you guys are going to be slipping into a new identity very soon. You might be changing your job, you might be changing where you work, or you might be literally changing where you live and moving to somewhere totally new, totally fresh. And I am getting an energy that for some of you guys, it's going to take you a minute to get your bearings. Like, you're going to be a little bit out of your element at first. Like, you're going to be a little like, what's going on? Why am I doing this? Did I just make a mistake? This is crazy. I've never done this before. That's the energy around it, but it feels like it's exactly where you should be. And part of that uncertainty is how we grow, how we change, right? It's how we discover that, like, oh, I'm actually really good at navigating because I'm in a new city and I'm navigating without needing to rely on my Google Maps too much. Or I'm really good at languages because I'm able to communicate with these people in this language even though I didn't speak it fluently before I came. Or it's at a new job being like, you know what, I'm amazing at filing. I never knew I was so organized, but like, organization is a snap. Maybe I'm going to go home and reorganize my spice drawer because I suddenly realize I'm amazing at this. But I feel like a lot of you guys, it's like you're stepping into this new, exciting, fresh time in your life, and there's a lot of blessings coming your way. So your guides, that's the first message I'm getting for you, is they kind of want to hype you up for this time and mention to you that life is short, so you really should be enjoying whatever these changes are and kind of like taking on whatever's happening in your life. Because I feel like in the future, you're going to look back specifically at this time and just be like, oh wow, that was a really special moment for me. Whatever was going on in that era was like, that was so cool, or that was the very beginning of this new job, or of, I didn't know I was going to move to that country just because I was visiting it. You know what I mean? There's something here that I feel like has so much potential to grow even further and to be something that I feel like stays with a lot of longevity for you. So you guys got 2 angel cards, which is very rare. You're the first pile who got that. So the first one is 7th chakra Archangel Uriel, and then we got 3rd chakra Archangel Chamuel. So we have the crown chakra activated, and then we also have the heart chakra. Chamuel is the angel of love, and then we have Uriel, which is very psychic energy around you guys. So you guys right now, I feel like, are getting a lot of divine downloads about where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to be doing. You might be very psychic at this time and also very sensitive to other people's energies. And also, I feel like you guys, pile 3, you're very psychic in general. I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of empaths. You take on a lot of other people's energy. You're very caring to those around you, and you're always looking after people. And I feel like you need to know that you actually have a tribe on the other side who's doing the same for you. You have angels on the other side, where sometimes you might feel beaten down. I'm feeling pile 2, some of you guys in this pile, maybe at times you feel like you don't get treated with a ton of respect, or you might feel like, why do I always have to be disrespected? Like, why is it when my friends walk in and they ask for a table, the maitre d' is like, oh, absolutely, right this way. And when I walk in and ask for a table, they're like, do you have a reservation? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, why am I being treated bad, or something like that. And I feel like you need to know that you guys are being looked after so strongly on the astral plane. They see your beautiful heart. They see how giving of an energy you are, and trust and believe you are being protected. So anyone who treats you badly is going to get karma. They are going to get their back treatment, their payback for how they've acted towards you. And it's not even something for you to worry about, because all that is being taken care of. And what your guides don't want to have happen is for you to hold back this beautiful heart you have, this beautiful, open, lovely spirit of yours, and make yourself into someone that's like closed off because of the mistreatment you've gotten at times. I feel like you need to know that you are divinely protected, pile 3 in particular. Like, I feel like because you guys are such sweet little angel souls, that your guides are so protective of you, and they will like look out for you on the astral plane so strong. So if you ever feel like an injustice is happening or something is going on that's just not okay, just know that they've got your back. You've got this powerful, powerful team on your side protecting you, and their form of justice is really intense. I will say I have had a few crazy experiences where like someone treated me really bad, and the stuff they'll tell me later is like crazy. Like someone thought I broke their laptop. I'm like, how would I break your laptop? They're like, yeah, but when I went home, my laptop was broken. And I'm like, I didn't touch your laptop. But I've had so many experiences like that where I know I didn't do a thing and I didn't have to lift a finger, because my guides are way more savage than I am. So I would never break someone's laptop, but my guides will. So that's my point, is for you guys, I feel like you need to know if you're kind of stewing on some injustices or some rudeness or some nastiness that's been directed at you, know that they keep records on the other side. They see the misdeeds. They see the karma that needs to happen. They see everything that's going on that's wrong and evil and low vibrational, and they will take care of it. So I feel like you guys, some of you need that message because it's something you have been thinking about a lot, and your next card is anxiety. So it might be literally giving you anxiety, or maybe like even low self-esteem, where you're like, okay, so I get disrespected again. So wow, everyone else gets a nice relationship and I get treated like dirt. This is just ridiculous. And it's really getting to you, and it's really getting under your skin. And I feel like you need to know that people that need to have justice directed at them will have justice directed at them. So it's not your burden to carry. It's not your job. It's not for you to worry about. It's not for you to stew on or try to figure out how to get back at them. That's for God to handle. That is for your guides, your angels, and they are handling it. They are taking care of it, and they will absolutely make sure that any nastiness directed your way is sent back 100-fold. So all your job is to stay happy, high vibrational, and the sweet angelic soul you are, because I feel like pile 3, you guys spread healing and love just by walking around. You guys are so kind, you're so loving, you're so giving, and I feel like you need to know that that energy will come back to you. That is like they are keeping an accounting on the other side of all the beautiful, kind things you have done and any negativity directed your way, and they are going to make sure that those scales of justice are taken care of. So it's not for you to stress about or worry about or get in your head about, and your guides really want to make sure that you're kind of living in the present and focusing on the positive, because that's how we bring in more positivity, is by keeping ourselves high vibrational, feeling good, allowing ourselves to feel our best, never letting someone's negative reactions to you get under your skin. So if someone thinks you're annoying or too much or weird or whatever, then that's fine for them to have their opinion, even if it's wrong, right? But we need to still be in our happy vibe, and we still need to be shining as bright as we can, and we need to make sure that we are still in that place where we're positive, we're happy, we're feeling good, and we're doing things to make ourselves feel good, because sometimes it can seep down into our perception of ourselves, right? We might internalize these wrong ideas of like, so I'm annoying, or I'm a jerk, or I'm really not that smart, or I'm incompetent at work, because we had some nasty coworker who might as well have been jealous of us. Probably directing negative energy at us, because I wasn't gonna, but the final card you got is envy. So you might have had a lot of envy directed at you that has made you internalize negative thoughts about yourself of like, oh, so I'm not that smart, or I'm not that great. But you never know. These people might just be feeling threatened by you, and that's why they're directing negativity your way. And so your guides are just saying for you to stay very positive, keep your head in the game, keep your eyes on the prize, and let the negativity just bounce off you. Don't even worry yourself, because it's not, they're kind of beneath you. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, you are doing a greater mission. You are doing something much more important than worrying about them. And your guides really want to emphasize that. The other card we got is appreciation. I feel like your guides want you to make a habit of like looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself how beautiful you are, or how special you are, or focusing on whatever gifts you have. If you're a good writer, being like, I'm an amazing writer. Or if you're a good jokester and you have a lot of jokes and you have a great sense of humor, reminding yourself how special and important that is, and how so many people wish they could make people laugh on a dime, and how you spread joy and uplift the energy so much whenever you're in a room, and how, you're doing this amazing service by bringing so much light to so many people. Or if you're a great baker, how you nourish people, how special that is. So kind of like gassing yourself up a little bit, pile 3, is something I feel like you're being really called to. One great actual remedy for anxiety, or practice for anxiety, is to focus on counting the things in your room. You can also do that by counting your blessings. So starting your day out by listing 10 things that you love about your life. And even if it's hard and you're like, okay, I'm at 2 and I'm stumped, you can still find, if you really dig deep, even if it's like the air, the fact that I can breathe oxygen, hold your nose for 10 seconds and you'll realize how freaking amazing oxygen is. Or the taste of food, or the fact that it's a beautiful day outside, or if it's a rainy day outside. I love a rainy day. There's certain things you can focus on to get your mind out of like the gutter, out of that negative place where we're just mired in like bad feelings. So I feel like this is a call for some of you guys to be very particular with what you allow your mind to land on, so that you're only thinking of the positive, so that it starts manifesting more in your life. And again, I feel like you guys are doing some really exciting things in your life. You're creating new things, you're on a new path, and sometimes that can create feelings of anger or resentment from people from our past that might be like, oh, so you think you're better than me then? Oh, so you're leaving us behind, so you're too good for us? Or even feelings of like resentment, like why do they have this, or why did they get to do that, or anything like that. And I feel like you need to know that it's really not yours to carry. You've been such a giving person. Some of you guys might have had relationships that have ended lately, and I feel like some of you guys are such givers that even if this person treated you really badly and you were like treated horribly by them, or where they said awful things to you, you're still that person that would call up and be like, hey, let's talk. Like, you're such a giver. You look after everyone in your life so much. You take care of everyone so well. But it's almost like, when are you going to direct that energy to yourself? When are you going to take care of yourself? And also, when are you going to get to have the life you deserve, where you're just in joy, where you're just in peace and happiness and love, and just, spinning around in a meadow full of flowers, like energy? When are you going to get that? Because you only get one life. So if we allow someone super negative who's always taking away our energy to be in our life and to persist in our life, then we don't get to experience those magical moments of pure joy and exhilaration. So I do feel like there is a message that some of you guys might be hung up on other people's opinions of you, or people's negativity they've directed at you. And this is a really strong message for you to be very intentional with what you allow your mind to focus on, and that you remove remind yourself that you deserve to be happy all the time. You deserve to be joyful all the time. And things taking you out of alignment with that are maybe not for your life. So we also got victory. So if you're worried about this situation, pile 3, know you guys are headed for victory. Some of you guys are headed for a lot of financial success or career success. And there might be a part of you that's like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Or there might be a part of you that feels bad for the people you've left behind, or feels like if someone's upset with you, that then you must have done something wrong. And I feel like, you know, there is a message that you guys deserve all of this, that you guys have given so much to so many people, even to your own detriment at times. Even when you were exhausted or burnt out, you're the kind of person who will just take the shirt off your back and give it to a stranger. And there's a message for you to really allow yourself to celebrate your success when it does happen. And if you're not at the point of success yet, because this is a general reading, then this change that's happening in your life is aligning you with success. So this map maker of destiny card, this transition, this Pluto and Aquarius moment is aligning you with the path that you're supposed to be on to have more of this success. And it is going to end with, I think, achievement beyond your wildest dreams. So I feel like pile 3, you have such a beautiful energy. I feel a lot of people are kind of grabby towards it. To be honest, I feel like you've had a lot of people around you that they, on one hand, love you and like you, but on the other hand, they're like grabbing at you, like trying to get a hold of you, trying to get your attention. Trying to get, you know, more of you. And I feel like you have almost an addictive energy. Like people get addicted to you and then they want more access to you and they want more and more and more and more and more. And I feel like you need to know that, you know, it's okay for you to set boundaries, for one, and also that on this path to success, this is also going to lead to your success. So it's a blessing and a curse. So I know this is maybe confusing, but on one hand, you could look at it as a negative, like, oh, I have all these people constantly grabbing for me. I have all these people constantly trying to get a hold of me and getting bitter. And maybe sometimes they even like freak out on you or get angry at you if you don't fully let them into your energy. Like if they were to text you and be like, hey, how's your day? And you were just like, it's really good. How's yours? They might be mad at you because they're like, you were supposed to like, you're just giving me one word answers and you're not really giving me your time. And people want more and more and more of you. And I feel like sometimes that has led you to feel really frustrated or almost like you're a bad person because you're like, okay, these people want so much more than I can give. And what am I doing? And I feel like there is a message for you here that this same thing that gets people addicted to you and sometimes gets negative reactions from you, jealousy, anger, resentment, is actually what's going to lead to your victory and success, because everyone is going to want this energy on a widespread level. So I hope I'm channeling this correctly and like putting my words correctly, but this is what I'm getting is like, there's so many people that I feel like have been drawn to you throughout your life that I feel like sometimes you almost get on edge when someone wants to be around you or someone like asks you to hang out. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, they're going to resent me sooner or later. They're going to get mad at me. And part of this is just because so many people want to be so close to you that some of you guys have had to put up a little bit of a hard shell, or some of you guys have had to like really learn to boundary yourself out. So sometimes people might even describe you as standoffish or cold or like rude or mean at times. But I feel like it's because you're such a beautiful soul. You're such an overgiver. You give to everyone around you so much. And before you learn to put up boundaries, pile 3, probably you guys are like way overgivers, depleted all the time. And then I feel like there comes a point sometime in your life when you learn to put up boundaries, and then a lot of people start getting resentful of you. And I feel like you need to know that you're doing the right thing by preserving your energy, protecting your boundaries. And this is just going to get more and more intense for you as you reach more success. And I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be led to success because this energy is so great around you. So whatever field you're in, if you're in sales, you're going to have people like clients that just love you so much. They want to buy multiple things from you because they're like, oh, pile 3 is amazing. They're like my buddy. Even if you're like, oh, we're not really buddies, but okay. You know, or maybe it's like you are a writer and you're so creative in what you write that people just, they tap into your energy while reading your writing and they're just like, this is amazing, I want more, but they might get mad at you because you're not writing books fast enough, or you know what I mean? There's an energy here, or just someone like as a friend and they really love you and they want to hang out with you more, and then they get mad at you because you're kind of like closed off a little bit. And that same energy could propel you to the top of a career or could allow you to have a beautiful relationship. But pile 3, I think you need to take stock of how beautiful your energy is, how many people want to be around you, and what a gift that is for you, and for you to use it. So I hope that makes sense. We got Netcaster, preparations come to fruition, Will-o'-the-wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows, Sky Dancers, surrender, Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences. So at a certain point, I feel like this energy around you that's been kind of gentle, sometimes stagnant, it's going to really start speeding up. And honestly, for some of you guys, it might be right now. I feel like right now, pile 3, you guys are on a path and a trajectory to massive success. Even if you're not there now, I can just feel the energy of this pile. There's so much energy here. I can see why people get it addicted to your energy, pile 3, because your energy is really bright and beautiful and exciting and high vibrational. I really like just tuning into it in this reading. It's just a beautiful, bubbly, happy energy is what I'm picking up on, even though sometimes you guys might feel anxious and you might not be feeling bright and bubbly, but deep down this is your energy. It's like this beautiful open, I'm seeing a windmill in like a meadow, and just like beautiful clouds drifting behind, bright sunny day, blue skies, flowers, like that's your energy to me. And so I feel like your whole life you've had people kind of glomming onto you, wanting more, negative people who need healing, who try to be friends with you and then maybe hurt you or stab you in the back, or you've had a lot of like heartache in relationships somehow, people wanting your energy but resenting you for their dependence on your energy at the same time, people being grateful for your effect in their life while at the same time resenting that they need you. And there is an energy here that one day it's all going to pay off, and you're going to see why you had to go through this, and you're going to see why the negativity sometimes got directed at you, and you are going to have amazing treasures and amazing payoff. Because like I was saying, just as your guides keep track of all the karma in the negative, they keep track of all the karma in the positive, and they see how much you've given to others. They see how kind you are. They see what a big heart you guys have, and they are certainly going to make sure, pile 3, that you guys are taken care of and that you're not left out in the cold. In fact, I think they're going to give you so much success, like I said, beyond your wildest dreams. Stuff that you could maybe have only imagined or dreamed of is going to happen for you. So I feel like you need to trust this process, especially as things start really shifting around with this Pluto and Aquarius energy and things start changing in your life. Trust that you are being aligned with the new path for you. Don't second guess things. Allow spirit to take your life on this magical ride, this magical wild ride where maybe things are happening that you're not really expecting or you can't really make sense of. That is a download from spirit. Whenever something is happening in your life that you're like, what? Why is this? What? This just seems so crazy. That's a lot of times something your guides orchestrated. It's not from you, it's from your guides. It's something your guides are doing. And that's why to you, you're like, huh? But I was supposed to like get a job here, but this is a way better salary. Well, I guess I could try it. And that's a destiny moment that aligns you with what's for you when it seems to come out of the blue and it seems kind of crazy and it seems kind of like wild and doesn't seem to have a plan. A lot of times that is for your destiny. So trust this process as it unfolds, pile 3. Let's get some tarot for pile 3. Spirit, please can you give me guidance for pile 3? What do they need to know? Page of Pentacles. Yes, I love that. So some of you guys, like I said, new job, new career, possibly new living location or travels. But I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are moving within like at least the next year. And some of you guys very soon. I'm hearing 3 months. But I feel like you're really being prepared to start something fresh, bold, something unexpected, and to go after it and to have it be something that you really embrace and bring your energy towards, and don't kind of do it halfway. Don't be like, well, I guess I'll go. Okay, you want me to travel? I keep being called to travel, but I'm just going to stay in my hotel room and stay inside the resort. I'm not really going to no, go out and do it. Do the dang thing, do all of it. Like actually go into town and meet people and talk to locals and eat the food and drink it all in, pile 3, because I feel like I said, this is a really exciting time for you. This is a really exciting energy around you, and your guides want you to embrace all the moments of this and give it your all and fully lean in. Let's get some more cards. Pile 3. What messages do we have for pile 3, Spirit? 9 of Swords and the 5 of Cups. So yeah, you guys might have been really stressing out lately. You guys might have been just in a negative place, going through it, very emotional, feeling a lot of this anxiety, feeling some guilt about people you might be leaving behind or old relationships or whatever. And I feel like you really need to realize that like the 5 of Cups is such a card of focusing on the negative when there's so much positive happening for you. So and the 9 of Swords can be a card about really worrying up about something that's not even worth worrying about. So I really feel like for you guys, this is a message to get your eyes on the prize, stay very positive, keep your mindset focused on it and fixed on it, and trust the process that this is unfolding how it should, and that your guides are with you, protecting you, and that they know exactly what is right for you. They know what you asked for. They know you. They know your soul, your personality, and what's going to be good for you and benefit you the most. So really like have faith in what's going on, because like I said, I really do feel it's happening for your benefit, pile 3. Let's see what other cards we're going to get for pile 3. So we got the Queen of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles 4 of Pentacles upright and 7 of Swords reverse. And let's get one final card, Spirit, for pile 3, the Moon. So you might be getting a lot of downloads at this time. With the 4 of Pentacles, whatever this new change is could turn into a very solid foundation. And there can be a message for you here with the 4 of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords to really pay attention to details on some of these things. So if you're like traveling, or if you're moving, or if you're changing jobs, embrace this beautiful moment, embrace the energy of it, take it all in, drink it in and fully lean into it. But also make sure you double check the fine print, make sure you got all the details down, make sure you're not like just being sloppy about it, but you're having that Queen of Swords energy who's always going to check if what is the phrase? I's are dotted, T's are crossed. Always going to make sure that all the details are in place. So make sure that you have checked everything, make sure you've done a good job of making sure that everything is lined up correctly so that you can really embrace this moment. But I do feel like this change is something that could usher in a very permanent new era in your life, and something that I feel like you guys are going to really, really love, and something that I feel like has such a huge potential for paying off pile 3 and for bringing you guys wishes beyond anything you really really dreamed of or thought was possible. And your guides are wanting you to stop allowing yourself to get into a guilt spiral, guilt energy, and to really focus on knowing how much you deserve this beautiful new change, this beautiful new energy in your life, this beautiful new shift. And yes, you've had a lot of shady people around you. We can see that for sure. And a lot of envious people around you. But you are divinely protected. And what they're picking up on, the envious people, the jealous haters, or the nasty people, is your beautiful energy and wishing they had access to it. So take it as a compliment. I know it stinks. I know it's hard when someone's directing hate at us, but it is a compliment to you. And this beautiful energy that made them so jealous is what's going to benefit you so much in the future. So it is all going to pay off. So anyways, I really hope that resonated. Pile 3, let me know if it did in the comments. I really love hearing from you guys. Love hearing your thoughts, your opinions, your stories. So let me know what you think. Also make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Give this reading a like if it did resonate with you. And make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Hit the bell if it did resonate. And if you guys want to see more of my readings and be the first to know when I post. Also, if you guys want to see even more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. When you sign up, you get access to about 50 additional readings about life, love, spirituality, career, relocation, and so many different topics. I just posted one all about what you should do to improve your love life, what you need to change or adjust to get the kind of love life you've always dreamed of and always wanted, so we get some really great advice from Spirit in that reading. But like I said, as soon as you sign up, you get access to all of them. So head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description to join me over on Patreon. I would love to have you there. And if you guys would like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. Have me pull tarot for you, do your astrology, channel mediumship, or channel intuitively for you. Any of that I would love to do for you, and you really get to decide how the reading goes, how long it is, what we talk about, whether it's a year ahead reading, love reading, career reading, whatever you want to focus on, we can, or just a general energy check-in, psychic reading, whatever you want, we can do. So if you'd like one of those, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Link is in my description for that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon again in the future. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey Pile 4, so if you guys picked this rose quartz crystal, this is going to be your reading. So you guys got the Keeper of the Scales, Fairness, Balance for your card. So the first thing I'm getting for a lot of you guys is that you are very creative. A lot of you guys in this pile have a lot of gifts, but it's almost like you keep them under wraps, or you have fears sometimes of putting them out there. Like, I feel like you guys have so many good ideas, so many things you want to share, and there is a message that sometimes maybe you have this Libra energy where sometimes Libra can be very afraid of disrupting everyone. It's very diplomatic. It kind of, wants everyone to get along, so they're not going to like burst out with exactly what they think, say what's on their mind. And is an energy for you guys of sometimes you having an amazing thing that you want to share, or you want to tell the world, or something you think, or something that you have a gift in, and instead of you actually sharing it with the world, you kind of second guess it. You second guess yourself. You don't put yourself out there the way you should. And there's a message for a lot of you guys that you need to really lean into some of these gifts, and you need to lean into kind of taking up more space, like not putting yourself second best, or not. I feel like sometimes you can be your own worst critic, or you can be that person that is like so harsh on yourself. Like, I was just reading an interview with a very best-selling author, and she was saying, I don't even understand why I have success. When I read everyone else's work, I'm like, this is so much better than mine. What's going on? And it's so funny. But, I feel like even she has imposter syndrome, and even she thinks, oh my gosh, I'm not that great. And that's the thing, is like, I feel like the funny thing is that sometimes when you meet successful people, you're amazed at how ordinary they seem. Like for me, I used to live in LA, and when you live in LA, you see a lot of celebrities running around all the time. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of them look super average or super whatever. And maybe someone's even like marketed as a sex symbol, or as like, oh my gosh, they're so cute. And sometimes they really are, but a lot of times you're like, okay, that person looks very ordinary to me. And I thought maybe they weren't photogenic, and maybe in person they would look amazing, but no, they're just like pretty average looking in person. And the funny thing is like there's so many people who might be more attractive or more talented or more whatever that don't think they actually are good enough. And so it goes to the person who's bold enough and brave enough to be like, I think I'm gorgeous, and I think I should be on billboards and in the star of a movie, and I think I'm amazing, even if they're average looking. You know what I mean? Because they have to be the one to do that. And I feel like you're being called to like be a little bit more bold and be willing to have eyes on you more, be willing to have people pay attention to you. Or if you're like, well, I don't want to put myself out there in a way that has eyes on me in any way, maybe it's just like sharing more of your actual work. Maybe you have, like I was saying, a best-selling author interview. Maybe you have a book inside you. Maybe you are someone that is an amazing painter and needs to share your paintings on Instagram. But I feel like there's a message for you about being more upfront with everything. I feel like some of you guys, you have really amazing thoughts, but you kind of keep them at bay. There's a part of you that might be afraid of like, well, I don't want to butt into this conversation, even though I'm an expert in this field and I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I could kind of help the conversation because I know this, but it would be obnoxious, so I'm not going to say anything. And it's like, say something. I feel like your guides are kind of saying to you like, why are you holding yourself back with this? Why are you not just being as bold as you possibly can and really shining your light as bright as you can? I feel like that's something the people around you really, really, really want to see happen. So the angelic cards you got is first chakra, Archangel Michael, and the Angel of Strength. We actually got the Angel of Strength card first, and then I was like, I really want a specific angel name. So we got Archangel Michael, but when I got Angel of Strength, I was like, is that Michael? Because he is the warrior angel, and he deals down with the base chakra, the root chakra. And so for you guys, I feel like he is such a protective angel. He is the head of the angels. He is the one in charge, and he is the one that really you call upon for like heavy duty spiritual work. So I feel like for you to have such a powerful angel around you guys, you need to know that you are divinely protected and that what you have to share with the world is powerful. There might be fear, with sharing some of your work somehow, sharing your opinions. I mean, Lord knows today, right? It seems like it's hard for anyone to share their opinions, or people just, can get in trouble for saying anything. But at the end of the day, when everyone silences themselves from the conversation because, I don't want to step on anyone's toes, or I'm worried about saying the wrong thing, then the conversation can't happen, or only the most obnoxious people can dominate the conversation, right? It's like at the dinner party when you get sick of your uncles just shouting over everyone, you're just like, screw it, I'm just going to be quiet and be on my phone and go through Instagram. But then they get to decide the conversation, right? So sometimes you need to speak up, even if you're like, I don't know if I want to share this. I don't know if it's good enough. Whatever the insecurity or the fear may be, know that you're protected. You guys, Michael has your back, and Michael is the one you want to have your back. I mean, I was kind of looking to see who's going to get Michael, just because he is such a powerhouse of an angel and related to Mars. So, Mars is the energy that just rushes in without thinking. Mars is the energy that, like, if you're like, well, I don't really like you, Mars is like, I couldn't care less possibly if I tried. If you try to tell if you try to like get an Aries into a discussion about like, I think this person said this about, they'll just be like, okay, I don't care, and like, screw them. Like, I don't care. Like like me as a Pisces, we can do so much ruminating. If you're like, I think this person doesn't like you. I mean, I have an Aquarius ascendant, so part of me is like, I don't care. But, the Pisces at the root, it's like, you can get in your feelings. You can be like, well, why did they say that? They said what? And then they said they didn't like this. But I mean, I was trying for that. And when I said that, I meant this. Oh, wow. Well, do you think it would be different? Blah, blah. Aries does not do that at all. Aries is like, okay, I couldn't care less. Not interesting to me. Screw them. Next time I see them, I'm going to ignore them then. But like, they don't give it any thought. Aries just does what it wants. Mars ruled signs, Scorpio as well. They just do what they want. And I feel like there's a call for you to stop second guessing, stop getting in your head, stop being like, well, should I? What if I say this? Well, what if I do that? Well, what if this person thinks this? Well, blah, blah, blah. And just go into like, I want to do that. I'm doing it. And that's why Aries is literally the ram rushing into battle, because Aries, the rams, they fight by like smacking their heads together, and there's a high risk of like injury doing that, right? But rams don't care. They're like, I'm mad at this person, I'm rushing into them with my head, and I'm gonna like ram them with my horns. And that is the power and the force of Aries, and why the sun is exalted there. So you guys are being called to like not second guess yourself as much, not allow yourself to get into your head, into a spiral, into like, oh gosh, and then because like that is such Libra energy as well. And as I was saying, Libra, the downside of Libra is they can often hold themselves back and not want to speak up and not want to speak their truth, even way more so than Pisces, because they're afraid of getting everyone upset, and because they are the card of harmony, balance, everyone getting along, so they don't want to disrupt anything. But that's why it's opposite from Aries on the wheel. And I feel like you guys are being called to step into this energy of boldness and unafraidness, and just saying how you think, how you feel, whatever is going through your mind, or whatever creative project you want to share, and not being in this hesitant energy. So we also got the Magician and the Mirror. So that is such a reminder that you guys are powerful beyond measure. You're more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for, or than you're allowing yourself to be. You guys keep, in this kind of hesitant energy, and your guides are like, do you even realize how strong you are? Do you even realize what a powerhouse you are? Do you even realize like what you have to offer? And instead of you fully leaning into it and embracing it, you're scared and you're second guessing it, and everyone else can see this in you. Everyone else can see your power and your potential and the force of nature that you are, and you're second guessing. Like, what in the heck is going on? So I feel like they really, really want you to embrace the boldness. And look, I love that he's holding up water and fire, because I was channeling Pisces and Aries, and then we have water and fire, because that is really how alchemy happens, is combining two disparate elements that don't really get along or don't really seem to relate. So combining that psychic, dreamy, emotional energy of water and the unafraid boldness, intensity of fire is how you can alchemize something. So don't be afraid of being this emotional side that you have. Don't be afraid of being this sensitive person, but be bold enough to let it out anyway. Be bold enough to show it to the world. Be bold enough to shine your light as bright as you possibly can, and not second guess what your guides are telling you. If they're telling you to share something with the world, if they're telling you that you have a gift in a certain arena, that's something you need to listen to, need to pay attention to, and need to actually use, because that's you serving the world and living out your life purpose and benefiting the collective. So I feel like your guides are just like, come on, let's get this show on the road. Like, we've been waiting long enough. Let's make this happen. We also got hostilities. I think that's a major thing you guys are afraid of. It's almost like you don't want to have these disagreements. You don't want to have the negativity directed at you. You don't want to have, unpleasantness going on around you. And I feel like there's such a fear of judgment sometimes. Like, it might not even be like major hostilities you're afraid of, but you're just like, oh, I don't want people to think that I'm like really lame or cringe for doing this, or I don't want to put my work out there yet. It's not ready. I need to like tweak it. I need to fix this. I need to fix that. And I feel like your guides are like, listen, life is short. You only get one of these. Your angels want you to put this out there. They want you to be bold and unafraid. And like, it's so perfect that you got these two angels, that you got Archangel Michael, that you got the angel of strength, Martian, energy here, where that is so kind of selfish and knows what they want and goes after it. And I feel like that's really what your guides want for you now, is like, who cares if people are hostile? Who cares if people are general, who are jealous is what I was saying. I don't know why I said general. Who cares if people are angry or don't like it for some reason, or just don't think it's that good? Then fine. They can like whatever they like. But I feel like, a world where everyone is speaking their truth is the best kind of world we could live in, right? That allows for the best conversation, where it's not just like a few people talking, it's everyone talking, it's everyone getting a voice. And we never had more of a voice as people, as human beings, than we have right now with social media. Because now it's not about who's brave enough to like take the bus to LA and audition and wait in line and hope that the producer likes them and thinks they're cute and meets the right people at the parties. It's whoever can put themselves out there on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube, or who can post something online, or who can self-publish on Amazon, or who can, open their own website or start a pottery studio in Iowa and then ship things nationwide. You know what I mean? So I feel like you guys need to like take the bull by the horns with this and realize how much power you have. We got attachment and yin yang. And finally, we got carrying connections. So there's also that message that you can't find your tribe, or you can't find the right connection for you until you are fully embracing your deepest self, until you're fully leaning into the most honest version of yourself. And then when you show that to the world, then other people can decide if they like you or not. And I do feel like most people are definitely going to like you. Pile for you guys, I feel, have something really valuable to share with the world, and that so many people would love what you're putting out there. But it's almost like we got to get rid of some of this stagnant old energy with this attachment card. Maybe you're attached to things in your past. Maybe you had certain ideas at other times in your life where you were like, oh, well, I'm not the person who does this, or I'm kind of shy, or I'm not loud, or I'm not ready yet to post whatever online, or I'm not ready to share this with my friends and family, or I'm not ready to apply to law school because even though I feel called to be a lawyer, I'm just not at that point. And I feel like your guides really want you to feel the temporalness, how temporal life is, how short life is, how fleeting this moment in time is, how fleeting our lifetime is. It's over in the blink of an eye. Like, remember or think of when you're like up in a plane and you look down on like your city, and suddenly the high school where you have all the drama and you're walking into it and you're like, oh God, am I going to see this person? I hope I see my crush. And it's such a big deal to you. Looks like a tiny speck. And suddenly, you know, the place where you go to work is like, it might look like a skyscraper, but it looks like a little Lego building, and people look like ants. And you can suddenly see the grand scale of all the human lives around us. And that's what I feel like you guys need to kind of realize is like, life is short. And if you want to make your mark or you want to do something, you better try, you better go for it. There's no real time to be sitting back, twiddling our thumbs and wondering when it's going to happen or when it's going to fall out of the sky. Like, it's now. So do it now. And if you feel called and if you have the gift of knowing what you're supposed to do, step into it immediately and go for it and take it on. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you guys. I want to get into some of these other cards. Magician's sword, confidence in your magic. So yeah, I feel like you guys really are being called to have a lot more confidence and to stop second guessing yourself. The Ace of Swords is also like a success guaranteed card. When you get the Ace of Swords and you're wondering about like, how is this going to go? I'm nervous. It's such a positive omen in tarot. So, you know, this could be a sign to you that like whatever you're thinking of putting out there is going to be a success. And even if it's like not a success right away, sometimes it's not a success because you need to refine something, perfect it, do it a little differently, edit it slightly, and then once you go back and make the changes, then it'll be a super big success. But you won't know what needs to get changed or tweaked or fixed until you put it out there and get that feedback. So all of it is part of the process of success. And if we can look at it like that, then we would stop being so afraid of failure. Like, think of how many entrepreneurs will say, oh, I opened 6 businesses or 20 businesses before I found my success. Or how many people will say like, oh yeah, I'm a writer, but I had 3 books out and then I finally hit it big. Or, you know, I am a songwriter and I kept trying to get people to sign with me, but no one would write music with me. And then finally I found someone and then I got a big hit, you know. And sometimes it happens right away. And I'm not saying it'll take you guys a while, but if you can look at it as just a little like step in the right direction, step up the ladder, any kind of failure, you'll stop focusing so much on that and you'll just focus on the end result and the end destiny you're heading towards. Perfect storm, the courage to step into life. Like, I feel like I don't even need to explain these cards. They're so obvious. I feel like your angels so want you to strike up some courage and be bold enough to embrace this new reality that's opening up for you guys, this new potential you have, that it's almost like you had this potential all along, but I feel like it's kind of coming to a head and building up more and more in you and calling on you to seek it out more and more, and calling on you to be really bold about it, and calling on you to stop like stuffing this feeling down, even if it's just not so much of a creative project in particular or anything like that. Even if it's like, you want to make new friends, but you're not sure how to go about it, just do it, right? Just go up to someone. I've met friends randomly at like workout classes being like, hey, what's your name? And just making it happen, because it's like, unfortunately, probably no one else is going to come up to you. Sometimes you got to do it. If you're like, I want a new friend in this city, or I want to meet someone, you've got to be the one to ask. You've got to be the one to be like, hi, I'm so-and-so. Nice to meet you. What are you up to? What are you doing? And you know, of course, there's always going to be the potential for rejection. But if you know what you want, then sooner or later you'll find someone who's like, yeah, I'd love to hang out, you know, and who likes your vibe, likes your energy, and you'll never know unless you make that first step. So this might also just be in your social relationships, putting yourself out there more authentically, more honestly, and allowing yourself to build relationships, build friendships, build romantic relationships by being bold and unafraid about it. And I feel like that's also why people get very drawn and attracted to people who are kind of like a bold energy, male or female, where even if you're sometimes, you know, as a woman, a lot of women are like, I don't want to make the first approach, which I totally, completely understand and you know, completely and kind of agree with. But the thing about it is then maybe just having a bold energy about you, having an unafraid energy. You know, it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm not going to approach, but you're going out to the clubs, you're going out to the bars, you're putting yourself out there, you're friendly, you're open, you're outgoing. Then that gives an energetic opportunity for people to feel open to approaching you. But if you're like, oh, I'm just going to wait for someone to approach, and then you're out in public only reading books, like you're in public sitting at the bar reading a book, never looking up, never making eye contact, you're not on any dating apps, you're not going out to the club, you never leave your house, then that's a little different, right? So in general, this can be an energy for you to open yourself up a little bit more and to be unafraid to let the world see you. Because I feel like the thing about it is so many people are going to love you. So many people are going to vibe with you, enjoy you, just love what you're doing. Pile 4. Like, people are going to, I think, like I said, just kind of fall in love with you guys and see you as such an amazing person that they would love to link up with, love to work with, or be a part of in some way. So put yourself out there authentically. And I do feel like for a lot of you guys, this could also be things like making sure you do go out more. Like, maybe you're like, oh, I could order in food. Okay, I'm actually going to go out to the restaurant and like actually be a part of it and vibe and enjoy. Or someone asks you to hang out and you're like, well, I don't know if I'm kind of cozy in bed, but maybe you can like actually go and it's going to be super fun and you're going to meet someone really amazing. So take it how it resonates for you, but I feel like there's a call to being more blunt, honest, unafraid of showing yourself. We got a tidy house, clarity and organization, straddling worlds, wandering between realms, and joyful muse, inspiration. So pile 4, I feel like a lot of you guys have something so special to share. It might be a creative project. I also feel like some of you guys are very beautiful is what I'm getting. So it might even be like showing your face more, showing your form more, or even like filming something like makeup videos, or I don't know. Of course, not for everyone, but I feel like a lot of you guys are might be gifted in that, or maybe just showing your face in some capacity. And it might be something also, because I keep seeing someone putting on makeup, like doing your makeup before you go out, you know, making sure that like you feel your best, you look your best, dressing up a little. Maybe you always go out wearing like t-shirt and some like leggings or like workout gear or whatever, blah, you know, whatever. And maybe this is a call for you to like get dressed up, you know, put on a skirt, put on like a cute top, or if you're a guy, of course, I don't know, whatever guys wear, maybe nice jeans and a good looking top, and do your hair back and slick it back and spray on some cologne. But you know, everyone can do a little self-care so they look really good, so they feel good, so they feel confident, so they work on themselves so that they're okay with like putting themselves out there. Because sometimes it can also be insecurity about like, I don't feel like I look my best. That would be easily fixed. Or even maybe something like changing our workout routine or changing what we eat so that we can feel more confident in our body or ourselves in a healthy way. But you know, there might be something that your guides are just, I feel like, really wanting you to be more present in the world and putting yourself out there much more, and not second guessing or being afraid of it, or thinking like, I'm just going to hold myself back in the shadows. So let's get some of these cards. Spirit, please give me guidance for pile 4. Tarot cards. We want some tarot for pile 4. 6 of Swords, the Emperor. Wow. And the Emperor is Aries, so Mars energy that we've kept picking up on. Okay, so we got the Emperor, 4 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords can indicate leaving behind a situation that's not really working for you anymore. So it might be like leaving behind relationships or even job situations, or just a mentality. Like I really feel like it could be leaving behind a mentality where you have been afraid to speak up, been afraid to really be honest about what you want, or been afraid to speak up with your voice fully, been afraid to put your content out there with Joyful Muse. Like I was saying, there's something so creative about you guys. I feel like also with this straddling worlds, wandering between realms, you guys are getting so many amazing downloads. If you do art, or you're having ideas for some kind of creative project, I feel like a lot of these projects you're thinking of doing, they come from spirit. Like you're really getting amazing ideas that they're not just like a regular run-of-the-mill idea. They are like spiritual ideas, gifts from heaven. They are incredible, amazing, like, wow, gifts that are a gift from your angels. That's all I can say. Water energy, you know, because water gets downloads that are spiritual in nature. And so I feel like for you guys, you really need to, you know, trust and use this, that somehow it could be helping you. You know, you never know how something so small that you're doing, like a cooking video or a tiny, I don't know, like song someone wrote, or a book that they wrote that's not like super spiritual in nature. It's not a heavy, intense book. It's maybe a silly crime novel or a romance novel or something, right? But those gifts can give someone hope, can mean so much to someone. Or a cooking video that's just like silly and fun and short, but it really puts a smile on someone's face and makes them feel all cozy and homey and comforted. And maybe they, just had a really tragic event and that's the first time they've smiled in forever. So there's a really strong message for you guys to trust whatever you're feeling called to do, trust your gifts and your talents, and to know that it does come divinely from spirit and it is something your angels have put in your head. Let's get some more cards. And there is the potential for a solid foundation coming from whatever this is, whatever you're sharing, whether it's even just building solid relationships or a solid career. There is a really strong message for you. Oh, the Six of Wands and the Empress. Yeah, there is a really strong message that there's long-term longevity potential with whatever this is, whatever change you're making, whatever honesty you're starting to bring in. This is something that really can benefit you immensely and last for a really long time. So if you're like more honest, more forthright in your relationships, you could bring in a relationship that lasts for 20 years because of this, because you're not, holding yourself back. And if someone's like, oh, do you like this band? You're like, yeah, I love them, even though you hate them. Because then you're going to have relationships that are inauthentic, right? Where the person's like, oh, this is our favorite band. And you're having to listen to a band you hate all the time. Just say like, no, I don't really like them that much, but do you like this? And maybe you can meet the person where you have a lot of commonality and where it's like a meeting of the minds, or a career where you're able to really manifest and be your most authentic self, where you're not holding back, hiding, talking about something you're not interested in, don't care about, doesn't stir your soul or inspire you, and you will be aligned with something that is very truthful for you. And I really do feel like for some of you guys who have been considering putting yourself out there, like maybe on social media in some way, or putting your work out there publicly, could be self-publishing, could be like putting on something on SoundCloud or YouTube or TikTok or anything like that. I feel this is a very strong call for you to do that with the Six of Wands. And again, so much beauty you guys give off. So for some of you guys, you're just physically very attractive and you should use that in some way. But I feel like, the Empress is also just creative energy in general. She is pregnant a lot of times. So, that is the ultimate creative act, right? Creating life. And so I feel like you guys are very fertile, creatively speaking. Like you guys are very, you have maybe a lot of ideas enter your head, or a lot of thoughts, a lot of really interesting ideas. And I just feel like the world could benefit from this. I feel like you really have the potential, maybe some of you guys, to be like content creators in some way, or writers, or in a creative field in some way. And you need to embrace that as an idea of real possibility for you. And maybe you're like, yeah, I write all the time, but I've never published it. And maybe it's time for you to self-publish something, or you make music, but you tinker around on GarageBand and then you never do anything for it, and you should put it on SoundCloud. Or you have an idea for YouTube makeup tutorials, but I'm not good enough, and like I'm not cute enough, and it's not going to work, and you just put it out there and start trying. I feel like there's something that you need to kind of like trust the process, trust that you're protected, and know that, like I said, it has a lot of long-term potential. And yeah. So I think that's what I have for you, pile 4. I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I really love hearing from you, hearing your opinions, your thoughts, your stories. So let me know how it resonated for you. And if this did resonate, make sure to give it a like, hit the thumbs up button. Also, make sure to subscribe, turn those notifications on, hit the little bell so you can find out as soon as I post and be the first to know. And if you guys would like to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about how you can have the kind of love life you want. So it's a really good one with some very specific guidance and advice for you guys on how to get the kind of love life and relationships you want in your life, how you can improve that sector of your life, and have the kind of relationship you've always wanted to bring in. So definitely check that out. But as soon as you sign up, you get access to all my readings. So about 50 additional readings about life, love, spirituality, career, relocation, and so many different topics, and new ones go up all the time. You guys also vote and suggest new ones. So it's very interactive. But if you'd like to join, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments for my Patreon and join our little club over there. I would be thrilled to have you over there. And if you guys want to see more of my, or not see more of my readings, get a private reading with me, then you can get one at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. Have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively for you. You can sign up for a year ahead reading, love reading, career reading. You really get to decide how it goes, or just a general energy check-in, which I think is just healthy to do every once in a while, just like going to the doctor. Then go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and get a personal one-on-one session with me. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. So take care of yourselves, guys, and I will see you then. Bye.